What's going on YouTube? Heylow here, bringing you another Total War Warhammer 2 1v1 matchup. So, today we've got a video sent in by the Horned Rat, wanted us to check out his replay of Skaven versus Dark Elves. So let's hop into the compositions here. So, for Horned Rat, he has Stormvermin with Sword and Board up front, supported by some Stormvermin with Halberds, as well as a core Death Runner. He is going to have Skrulk as well as Plague Priest on each flank, and a Hell Pit Abomination with a Rat Ogre unit in the back. So very, very elite Skaven army. Definitely a change of pace from what you would normally see, which is like the big 20 stack armies with like summons, things like that. So very excited to see this. And then over here for the Dark Elves, we are going to have 2 units of Dark Riders up front to do some harassing, Black Ark Corsairs and Dread Spears in the front line, as well as 2 units of Hargoneth Executioners, 2 Dark Shards in the back with shields, a unit of Witch Elves, the Death Hag on the Cauldron, and Malekith in the air on his dragon, Seraphon. So, very, very curious to see how this is going to go. Definitely don't see Skaven builds like this very often, usually because a lot of people don't really like trying to trade elite units with Skaven just because they have more variety and large, and they have some leadership issues. But with the Hell Pit Abomination and the unit Rat Ogres here, it should be able to help support against any kind of large monsters that would normally cause terror, like this dragon, for example. So, Malekith passing overhead, free of any kind of counter skirmishing, going to drop a solid breath attack into these Stormvermin with Sword and Shield. From that angle, it's a little bit rough. You generally want to go for these side shots just because the breath attack is kind of goofy with its accuracy. But a thick front line of Stormvermin here going to be running into the Black Ark Corsairs. They're going to do pretty well here. Black Arks don't have good armor piercing at all, but the Dark Riders are going to come rushing in and hit straight into a wall of Stormvermin with Halberds. So definitely don't want to go for these frontal charges. You want to go for the flanks, but a Blade Wind going into the back, veering off of the Death Runners and going across Rat Ogres, which is a really crummy target for them, so really bad luck on that one. But the Dark Shards are free of any kind of harassment. There's no real mobility or skirmishers from the Skaven here, so they are just going to be dumping their AP missiles in. And straight into the thick of things over here, we have a complete mess. The Hell Pit Abomination wrecking on this Death Hag, but Malekith is coming in to try and support with his dragon and rout out some of the Plague Priests and the Stormvermin on the flanks. Rat Ogre's doing a really good job here of doing some work on these Hargoneth Executioners, who don't have too many ideal targets in this little blob. All the Stormvermin are off on the flanks of it, and this unit is just stuck going to Pound Town against Rat Ogres, which is not the ideal target. But Plague Monks running up the core here with the summon, wrecking the Dread Spears. Really, really nice. Hell Pit Abomination barely taking any damage so far, and this Death Hag is stuck in a thick, thick blob of Stormvermin with Halberds. But a Blade Wind comes in, sweeping down the flanks here, doing some really good damage to some of these summoned Plague Monks and the Stormvermin. Hargoneth Executioners trying to take on Lord Skrulk, but that is going to be a very, very long fight because Skrulk has some solid melee attack and defense. Also doesn't have high armor, so all that extra AP not really going to good use. Generally want to use that to try and take down like the Stormvermin. But out on the flanks, we have infantry rallied. Dark Shards still going straight into the thick of things. Malekith over here in this blob, just trying to take on the Hell Pit and all these Death Runners. Man, it is absolute disaster up in here. All sorts of craziness going on. Dark Shards a little bit out of position, rushing up and getting caught out. A little bit of a miss micro there, but Rat Ogres in the back are regenerating, and Stormvermin here working on wiping out the rest of these Black Ark Corsairs. All the twirly boys trying to cut up some Stormvermin, and they are just not having it. Man, the Skaven are surprisingly large. You never really think about how big these guys are. But Hargoneth Executioners coming in for the charge to support against these guys, and these Stormvermin are going to end up in a little bit of a pinch. Malekith coming in to try and terror route them. These Dark Shards out here are trying to fire in on this Hell Pit Abomination, doing some decent damage, but getting a little stopped by these trees. Another Dark Shard still in combat here. Not the best place to be. I think they're just trying to use the bodies though, because a lot of their infantry is getting wrecked out, so they're trying desperately to take on this Plague Priest and Skrulk, and the Dark Shard ammo is kind of going to waste here. But he does pull them out before they get too much damage sustained, and he is going to be refocusing on some other targets. Dark Shard's still trying to take down this Hellpit Abomination. Black Ark Corsairs on the left flank have pretty much mopped up. The Witch Elves doing really good work here against the Stormvermin, with what's left of the Dark Riders getting some really nice side and rear charges, trying to rout out the rest of the infantry. Plague Priest still trying to hang tough though with half health. Black Arks ready for another target. Clan Rat summon back here on the Dark Shard, really well done here. Is going to be mopping up the rest of those guys and denying the rest of the ammo usage. Meanwhile, Rat Ogres over here on the Hell Pit have forced Malekith off of the engagement. He is on very low HP, sitting at 922. Witch Elves coming in here, backed by the Black Arks, trying to support, and it's going to be a tough time. He's got to take down this Hell Pit Abomination, and with what he has left, he doesn't really have the best tools to do it. Dark Shards will do some good damage over a period of time, like some sustained damage. But the terror is real here, and they are shattering out all these infantry units, and with that, it is going to be GG. Very decisive victory here for the Skaven. Really well done. I liked the build, picking up all these chevrons on his units, doing really good job trading out with all the Black Ark Corsairs and some of these Dread Spears. Malekith picked up a lot of kills, most of it on breath attacks though. Unfortunately, he wasn't really able to engage the line at all because with such little amount of infantry, the Hellpit Abomination can sit on top of that very effectively. So you're not trying to run all the way down the line to one unit and then all the way back because the dragon's taking off and just constantly on the move. You just park right there, and as soon as the dragon comes down, you just jump on him. So really well done by the Horned Rat here, representing his Skaven goodness. And we're gonna dip on into one more replay here he sent us. He is gonna be rocking some more Skaven against the Greenskins. So you can see the builds here. He's got Skrulk again, same concept build, very elite. He's got his double plagues and Stormvermin with gold chevrons, halberds, and sword and board with 2 Rat Ogres and a Hellpit Abomination. Very interesting. Greenskins bring a thick Black Orc line. Very curious to see how this is going to play out. Slow-mo for a second here. So Greenskin has 2 Forest Goblin Spider Archers up front, full front line of Black Orcs, Savage Orc Biggins to support, as well as the Doomdiver Catapult, Orcboard Chariot, Gobbo Big Boss, and Wurzag. So very curious to see how this is going to go. Wurzag doesn't have his gaze spells, so he went with, I believe, Fist of Gork. And what else he got there? You go with? Here we go, Fist of Gork, and Foot of Gork. Very interesting. So yeah, no gazes like you've been seeing a lot in the meta, which is kind of refreshing since the gaze spells are very cheap and most people have used them. It's pretty competitive, but it does get a little dry to watch. So here we have Skaven, Horned Rat, going to be repositioning his forces. The Spider Archers should do a very good job here. There's nothing for the Skaven to contest them with, so if he does some good harassing, focuses the targets, it could be a really good opportunity to go after these Rat Ogres, try and do some good chip damage before the battle starts. That Doomdiver Catapult also has a really nice opportunity to get some solid shots in on the Stormvermin. But we'll see what the Greenskins do here. I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out. Some side shots going into the Stormvermin. Shots also going in on Skrulk. Not a bad target. Going to do some good damage. He's very low armor, but a summon coming in here. Ooh. Catches him with the breath. Scares him off with the summon. Very nice. But formation reorienting out on the flank here, just kind of squaring up. I think he's trying to force the Greenskins to come through this pocket and kind of mess up their formation so he can pick his engagements a little better, which I like a lot. Utilizing your terrain, even on a giant open map like this, these 2 rocks can make or break an engagement for you if you're careful with your engagements here. Summon Clan Rat going down. Gonna try and catch out these Gobbo Riders. We'll see if he's able to do it. Looks like a little bit of a miss micro there, and he is able to catch a few of the models, so not bad. He's going to be chasing those guys off while he moves up to position. A pretty decent pickup. Clan Rat's pretty cheap to summon, and he's going to force them off, and you can see here this thick blob of 3 Black Orcs coming through that pass, but the rest of the formation is stuck over here on the right, and Savage Orc Biggins coming around the far left side with the Chariot. So if he ganks this side, he can get a solid amount of damage done, and that Clan Rat going in to bog down all those Black Orcs. So I'm really excited to see if he can capitalize on this pretty heavy engagement advantage he's got going on this flank. Help Abomination rushing straight in. Savage Orc Biggins taking some substantial damage. They do get Fist of Gork popped on them, but they're very, very heavily outnumbered. Out on the flank over here, some Stormvermin with Halberds going to be thrown into the thick of things to try and bog this down, but the Wa is popped and very, very nice. Skaven pulled the infantry out while the Wa is popped, so a lot of that damage is getting completely negated right now. Wurzag is at half health. Incredible. Very, very nice. Liber Bubonicus doing an awesome job. Right flank is secured from the Spider Archers by the Rat Ogres and some Stormvermin. More Rat Ogres pulling back here. He's trying to wait till the Wa comes off, but his unit gets caught out, so very, very well done here. Turns around, knows that he's caught. He's going to commit, and right when he does, Wa burns off. So Clan Rats at the rear of these Black Orcs, Rat Ogres coming in to support, and wow, Foot of Gork goes down on this thick blob. Some Stormvermin taking pretty substantial damage, but again, this pocket was very, very undersupported. He managed to catch them while they were trying to navigate the terrain, so we've got a thick pocket of Black Orcs on the left flank over here. That eventually is going to win this engagement, but by the time they do, this right flank is probably going to be pretty chewed up. So it looks like they're kind of trading out right now. Right flank was being won, but the Doom Diver back there with nothing to shut it down, the Skaven are just weathering the storm. Lots of damage coming in, but Summon Plague Monk in the back of the Orc. Oh man, the Black Orcs are going to take a pretty decent amount of damage here. Plague Monk's not the best, but they have physical resist, it's a summoned unit, and they have the anti-infantry damage. So it's going to be a really nice supporting unit here for some of these halberds. Trying to chew through these guys, not doing a bad job. Skrulk is getting a little caught out though by the Gobbo Big Boss, and all of these Spider Archers are dumping some fire into the Hellpit Abomination, who is getting slowly chipped away. But Savage Orc Biggins here with the physical resist are lasting for a very, very long time against this guy. And Wurzag is he's just on the run from this Plague Priest. The Boar Man himself is just running around on his pig, trying to escape. But Rod of Corruption going down, and that's going to be pretty big. He's going to be taking a very substantial amount of damage, caught by Rat Ogres, and just getting absolutely swarmed. He's stuck in the midst of this nasty rat gorilla nonsense that's going on, and he goes down. That's big. That's very big. That's going to be a huge hit to the Greenskin leadership. And you can see as soon as he goes down, a lot of these Black Orcs take the leadership penalty and they are routing out. So they're going to be chased off by some of this Skaven infantry. And at that point, all that's left, some Goblin Archers and the Doom Diver Catapult. The Big Boss ends up stuck here too, routing as well. Skrulk and the Plague Priest on very low health, but one of them is at full HP. So as long as he can keep alive and just kind of chase the rest of this stuff down, I think he's got this in the bag. Just commit a unit apiece to chasing these Black Orcs off. Don't let them rally and come back. Bring Skrulk, the Stormvermin over, try and take down the Doom Diver Catapult, because artillery does have a significant effect on your balance of power. You can lose like all your infantry and have a couple artillery pieces left, and even though realistically you know you've won the battle, the balance of power will say like, hey, they've got a bunch of ammo, it does a lot of damage, they could win. So make sure you get that stuff shut down, especially when leadership is out, and it should help tip it in your favor. Hellpit Abomination here taking a substantial amount of skirmisher fire, trying to break up the rest of these Black Orcs because there's nothing fast enough to catch these guys at this point. But they don't have the most substantial damage. The poison is the biggest effect that they have, as well as being able to fire while moving. But it's not super effective right now. A lot of the stuff getting terrified out, and here the leadership wavering as soon as the artillery goes down causes a mass chain rout. So very, very well done. I really like the builds. The very, very elite Skaven builds are not really expected, and I'm pretty impressed. He's been playing them really, really well, doing a good job taking out lords, making sure to support his infantry line. His target priorities have been on point, and he's kind of just been like gaming the game, you know? Everyone's bringing these builds that are going to be great against like 20 stack Skaven. You just rush them with some heavy armor, chew through it, you grind it out, you win. But game in the game, bringing the Hell Pit, some Rat Ogres, and some armored infantry, as well as the summons, and going for those heavy boys, the thickens in the fight. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good one.